there's been plenty of things to complain about when it comes to She-Hulk. For one reason or another, the fan base has been divided. Now let's talk about one thing that I didn't honestly think would be the cause of so much anger, but it is. How muscular She-Hulk is. And apparently Marvel did not want her to be super muscular. So this comes at us directly from the source involved with She-Hulk. This comes from visual effects artist Sean Rucroft, who took to the internet to talk a little bit about his visual effects company that was doing the visual effects on She-Hulk, and what they were doing with the evolution of the character from the early days to what we see in the trailer. And he revealed that very early on, the She-Hulk model that they had and what she looked like in the MCU was way bigger, way more muscular, and they had her looking like She-Hulk that I think a lot more people honestly expected her to look like. So here, let me toss up the image of what I think most people were expecting She-Hulk to look like, because this is the one I see shared the most when people complain about her size. Now again, yeah, she's built here, but again, she's not huge, she's lean. Like, there is a difference in how your muscles look. You know, if you look back at the film 300, those guys were not super jacked and like, you know, Mr. Olympia. They're not like Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman style. Those guys were just very lean, and then they used lighting to enhance them. I've been talking about the lighting problems in She-Hulk, which I think are a legit problem. But the way she looks in the series, I think is fine. You can clearly tell that there's muscle definition in there, but when the light hits it right, she's going to look bigger. Again, bodybuilders on stage, for example. I talk about this in the CBC podcast. There's a difference in how it's lit. And clearly, they didn't want her to be as big as Hulk because, again, that's just ridiculous then. So I do understand what they're saying, and I've seen a good amount of backlash towards this, and I get it. And them saying that originally they did start out big, but then they said they rolled their eyes at Marvel Studios and Disney's request to make her smaller and go a little smaller. Don't make her so muscular. But at the end of the day, he says, you know, that's what they want. They are the client, and we gotta do for them what they ask. So there you go. You know, again, I have no problems with She-Hulk at all. Like, the CG's not done clearly. The lighting in some scenes is awful, so it makes her look not as good. Other scenes, she looks, like, amazing. So, again, in due time, we're going to see the final end result. But it's interesting that they did try to make her much bigger, which I think, again, people wanted, but it didn't work. And you see why it doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. Like, look at the Incredible Hulk. I love what he looks like in that film. But that's because that comes from a bodybuilding standpoint of, we need Edward Norton, who has barely any percent of body fat on him, clearly, to become the Hulk. Well, yeah, he's going to be ripped. Mark Ruffalo, not the same body type, so he looks a little bit, no disrespect to Mark Ruffalo, but floofier, right? You guys get what I'm saying? So, yeah, kind of approach that with She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany is not exactly, you know, the biggest person out there, so why would she grow so much muscle that she doesn't even look the same? Like, you got to find a nice balance.